Hello, and welcome to the Great Game Debate Podcast, where friends come together to talk about video games and our lives. I'll be your host, as always, Kate Lane, and joining me, as ever, is the godfather of the debate himself, Jonah Gomez. How you doing, buddy? Heard you had a good weekend.
This is a pretty good week. Looks
Vibing.
like I'm going to be buying a house soon. So there's that.
Congratulations.
I went to an excellent concert again. Summer of shows, baby. We got the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 beta out, and it's blown my expectations far out of the water. So I'm excited for Call of Duty this year.
All right.
Call of Duty guy.
Sweet.
I can see everything's
turning up Jonah.
yeah, pretty much. The year of Jonah. And of course, joining us is freshly hardwired Wes Bates. How you doing, buddy? It was your birthday this past week before last week ago or so, right? So happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday, Wes!
It was a much better birthday than last year, where I spent 15 hours driving from Utah back to California with my kids in the car. But this year, I ended up getting a new dog for my birthday.
Yay!
Heck yeah.
We got a new family pup. She's real cute. She's half husky, half border collie, and all trouble.
That's a lucky dog.
That is the dumbest dog and the smartest dog at the same time.
We'll put a little picture of her in the little side portion.
Okay, cool.
For you guys.
Yeah, but she's been a lot of fun. So yeah, I had a great birthday. Thanks for remembering that. I do have a quick useless video game trivia for everybody. This is kind of a weird one. I just found this out, but did you know that the original Silent Hill has ties to the 1990 Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Kindergarten Cop?
Really?
This is not a joke. This is a real thing. You can go and Google Silent Hill Kindergarten Cop, and the elementary school in Silent Hill that you visit is modeled after the elementary school that Schwarzenegger works at in the movie Kindergarten Cop. And there are multiple places, both in the elementary school and in the hospital that you play at in the game, where they pull posters from the back of like scenes from Kindergarten Cop and just put them sporadically through these areas of the game. And there's no way that you could have, because it's the exact same design of these posters. It is really, really strange. So it's two things you never thought would be tied together: Silent Hill and Kindergarten Cop.
Some fledgling developer over in Japan, just huge Kindergarten Cop fan.
Arnold Schwarzenegger did a bunch of commercials out in Japan. I'm sure he's pretty popular.
That's right. I forgot about that. Those commercials are hilarious.
They're wild.
We're also joined this week by Stephen, of course, our saucy Aussie down in Australia. How you doing, buddy? Nice hat.
Good.
Got the Zelda swag out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember the last time I was in Japan, I just saw a massive, I'm not living in the city, so I don't see massive billboards that much, but just this massive billboard of just Johnny Cage, not Johnny Cage, Nicolas Cage, like telling Johnny Cage something in Japan. I was just thought that was just so weird just to see.
He's got some old weird pachinko commercials that are really funny. Yeah, well, great. And also this week, we have the distinct pleasure of being joined by Fun and Games co-host Geoff Moonen. How you doing?
Doing really well, Kid, and it's really nice to be on the show. Thank you all for having me. Also, Wes, I have to ask, when is your birthday?
September 17th.
I'm the 16th.
Wow.
Okay.
Happy
birthday,
buddies.
Yeah. I'll have to send you a happy birthday message next year. I can't forget it because
we got to remember. One of my best friends, whom I've referenced a lot on Fun and Games because he's so inextricably linked to my gaming history, my friend Kieran, he has twin boys that were born like at 11:45 p.m. September 15th, and so I'm just you know what? I was never going to have this birthday again. This is fine.
Nice.
So many. I've had enough. We only celebrate these boys now.
Yeah.
Well, Geoff, I hope you kicked Gilgamesh's ass on the way in and looted the Excalibur off of him, because it's time for the icebreaker.
What was the Excalibur?
No.
All right. Shout out to homie Brad Russell this week for submitting the icebreaker question. But he asks, what is your biggest turn on in a game and your biggest turn off? In other words, what gets you most instantly excited about a game and what instantly turns you away? Wes, you got anything locked and loaded for this?
Yeah. Anybody that knows me knows how much I love my Metroidvania games. And pretty much if you mention the word Metroidvania elements, I am instantly interested. Especially if there's pixel art included. I am like, hello, let me see that game. Let me see that game. That's like just put it in my Switch right now.
Yeah. I appreciate an appreciator of pixel art because it's not everyone. My wife is, she's more of a casual gamer and doesn't play games that much, and she didn't grow up playing games. So I have a really hard time getting her to play anything that's pixel art because she thinks it just looks old. And I'm like, okay.
Side tangent. Simon S. Anderson, who did most of the art for the indie game Owlboy, which is a beautiful game. Every Friday on his Twitter, he puts out like a new kind of like probably like a 30-second short of this like Dracula character going, "It's Friday night," and like something weird always happens. But the art in that is gorgeous. So every Friday, like in the evening, I always check Twitter and go to his Twitter and look it up. And it's fun. As far as the turn offs, probably could say the same thing I said about Metroidvania. That is a turn on. Roguelite or roguelike probably is a big turn off. Just because I'm awful at games and I am usually a terrible failure at those kinds of things and just usually end up in some kind of a raging fury by the time I spend about 15 minutes with those types of games. So
I know you've kind of made it known that you're not the biggest fan of multiplayer either. Is roguelike even more of a turnoff than multiplayer for you?
Well, the problem with the multiplayer for me is just a time issue, right? Like I would
Makes
love
sense.
to play
Like you would
more
if you could.
games with friends, but I live on the West Coast. I know Jonah lives on the West Coast, but having kids and just with the time, like most of the time, it's just kind of hard to line my time up with other people to actually be able to, unless somebody in the Midwest or the East Coast wants to stay up till 12 or 1 in the morning to start playing a video game with me. It's kind of tough.
Got to play Fortnite with the kids, Wes.
Yeah. Squat up. What is what happens in your brain when you hear Metroidvania roguelike?
Those exist, and I'm willing to give those a try. Actually, so Shovel Knight Dig just came out, and I was like extremely interested in trying that game just because I love Shovel Knight. So
there's hope.
I actually did buy that game and have played a couple levels. And true to form, I'm terrible at it. So
fair enough. All right, Geoff, same question to you. You got anything you thinking of?
Yeah, on the one hand, Wes and I share a lot of similar opinions about games. This is incredible. Although I am very much enjoying Shovel Knight Dig. I would say probably an easy turn on for me is good use of music, whether that is you've got like a cool rhythm game kind of thing going on, or it just a fantastic soundtrack that it's not just good music, but it's good for the game. A lot of my favorite games have iconic soundtracks that you take them out of the game itself, you know exactly what it's from. Sometimes Zelda is great for that. One of my favorite games is Katamari Damacy.
Yes.
And if you want like where the music is part of the identity of the game. Yeah. It's rather that's what it is. It's not just that it's great music; it's music that is like intrinsically linked to the identity of the game, the franchise. Yeah, Zelda is absolutely one of those franchises.
I feel that way kind of about like Silent Hill 1 and 2. Yamaoka's soundtracks are just, and you just hear that like opening guitar riff for Silent Hill 2's theme, and you're just like, oh, Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But
it
that's
brings
great.
you
What
in.
about...
about a year or so ago, I finally got into the Persona series, and I started with Persona 3, and Burn My Dread kicks in the opening. I'm just like, well, they got me now, and they do.
The bass licks in that music, all of it, just always so good.
Yeah, my Spotify Unwrapped is going to be nothing but the Persona 5 soundtrack, and I've made my peace with that.
Yeah, Persona's such a good choice. I kind of dropped off after like the second Palace and Persona 5, but then I continued for like the rest of the entire year to just listen to that soundtrack on loop,
It's
you
so
know?
good.
Oh, absolutely. You don't need to play the game to enjoy the music, but it helps.
That
Mhm.
that is one thing that stands out to me as someone that doesn't play that many JRPGs is when you play like a double A sort of JRPG, and even I had that problem with Dragon Quest 11, is that it's always so heightened. It's always, oh, this is the most epic thing, and I'm like, I'm just going through like a village, or I'm just going through like a just fighting overworld enemies. It doesn't have to be the epic theme. It's like you need to layer it, like, and that's like when the best music has multiple themes and like more I can't remember what you call it, but music that is accordant to the environment that you're in, and it just
Very context sensitive.
Yeah, context sensitive is definitely the word. Like I love it when I'll always and forever bring up Banjo-Kazooie. When you go underwater in Banjo-Kazooie, it changes to an underwater version of the theme. It's just it's just genius.
Good stuff. So what about your biggest turnoff, Geoff?
Ooh, I mean, is it too low-hanging fruit to go for microtransactions?
Not at all. Not at all.
That's fair. That's
Some
totally
people
fair.
are into them. Some people love their Minecraft skins.
I am extremely ADHD, so impulse control is a huge factor of how I live my life. Plus, I'm a very avid retro game, physical game collector. And so when you throw in things like very random DLC kind of situations or anything else, I understand.
Yeah.
And I'm learning to let some things go and know that I can't get that complete experience if I'm collecting it. But I can't help but feel like something is lost in the art and something is lost in the history when a lot of that goes about. And it's, if you want everything that this game has to offer, you have to spend like $400, and $300 of that are costumes.
Yeah, exactly.
You haven't played Oblivion then, because if you haven't played it with horse armor, you haven't played Oblivion. It's a different experience.
I fear no man, but Elder Scrolls terrifies me.
Oh, interesting.
There's so much to it. I watched my brother play Morrowind when I was younger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That you can't go back to it if you didn't properly play that as a kid, and I barely played it, and it's horrifying to play.
It's that, like, how a newborn baby cries just at the sheer terror of possibility of being alive. It's Elder Scrolls. Have fun.
I want to say, I think one of those fan projects actually maybe hit 1.0 recently, or is almost done. I think it's called Skywind, but it's like, they remade Morrowind in the Skyrim engine. So
oh wow,
you have to go all the way back to those graphics if you want to play it now.
Yeah,
but
I've got some nostalgia for that, like early 2000s Xbox era. Like EverQuest was my MMO, so I just got love for that. Like,
yeah, for sure. It was grody.
Yeah,
early 3D. Yeah. Well, same question to you, that Steven.
Well, you'll have to wait till the end of the episode for my real answer. So my boring answer it is actually I literally mobility options in any like platformer. I'm talking double jumps. I'm talking air dashes. I'm talking slides. I'm talking anything that can get me moving in the air and staying in the air and undamaged. That's my juice for sure. Turn offs. It's hard, yeah. Rogue-like, especially like when it's a very hard, like you're
keyword.
Just going to be repeating, is definitely one for me. Like light, I don't mind so much as long as I'm getting that progress and I just beat Sundered recently, and at first I wasn't loving the whole RNG, and that's probably the other thing is like randomly generated maps probably isn't my vibe. So probably in between those things. But yeah, I found some love in Sundered by the end. But yeah, so randomly generated rooms and stuff, not really my vibe. And yeah, rogue-like. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the mobility thing. I was just playing the demo of Valkyrie Elysium, and you go through the whole tutorial, and you just have a dash that you can't chain and a jump and no double jump. And I'm like, dang, I really wish you had like a chain dash and a double jump. And then once you get out of the tutorial, there's like skill trees. And one of the skill trees lets you unlock double dash and double jump. And I'm like, why isn't this just in the game? But yeah, fair enough. What about you, Jenna? Biggest turn on, biggest turn off?
So I will agree with movement, but more specifically in first-person shooters, insane movement tech in shooters.
You see wall running and slides. You're like, oh,
yeah. So
rocket
like
jumps.
yes.
Titanfall 2, insane. The new Modern Warfare, just having your normal sprint, like 3 forms of movement: your walking, your sprint, and then your tactical sprint, which lets you run even faster, but disables like the ability to shoot while running, is super fun. Having slides, the new Call of Duty has like you can slide and you can dolphin dive, so that's like really fun and changes up the way gameplay is. So that's probably my biggest turn on for like a shooter, if I'm gonna for instance. My biggest turn off is an hour count over like 20 hours.
Yes. That's a great answer.
I just
yeah.
like
as
just
a parent, I
long-winded
understand it.
games. I just can't do them anymore, and if I do, it's neglect in other places.
You're like, I could have played like 3 other games by now. You know, that's how I was feeling at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I've got like 160 plus hours. I'm just like, oh, like.
There's some games that they can justify that length, but just kind of like roguelike things. Not everything needs to be procedurally generated. Not every RPG needs to be 80 hours.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that. This could have been an email of
exactly.
And that's the thing about the justifying the length. It's really sad to go like, oh man, Persona 5 is too long, but at the same time, I want to do more in my day in Persona 5. I want more days where I have days off, where I can just do whatever I want, because you can't finish all the social links, and you can't complete all of your stats at school and stuff, and you're just like, but also 150 hours is too long.
Yeah.
My final count was 169 hours. Oh yeah.
Wow. I'm over 120 right now in my playthrough of Royal, and I have probably another 2 months left to go in the
I'm currently I played 3, then jumped to 5 because I knew that would be the one that my spouse would want to play with me.
Nice.
Like very much, she's an avid gamer, and we sort of like curate experiences for each other. I'm like, this is the one you want to do, and I was right. And I'm now going back and playing through 4 Golden, and the fact that it's like, oh man, I just pushed the 80-hour mark. This is so breezy. This is so what this does to you, I guess.
My one biggest gripe I have to lodge against Persona 5 is that you cannot romance Ryuji. And that is as terrible. He's the best character.
I have gone on record. I want to date Yusuke. Let me date Yusuke.
It's so unfair.
Ryuji's incredible.
Yeah.
But
it is a shame of that game how inconsequential anything about the main character really is, that he could have just been a creative character, and it's like, let me just be whatever gender I want and date whoever I want, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Right. Joker's got enough of a personality as far as those protagonists go, but still.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating because so many other things have effects or whatever else, and immediately after finishing Royal, we started playing Strikers. And we put a lot of emotion into dating Makoto. And then to go on the Ferris wheel date with her, and she's just like, come on. Come on.
Yeah.
I taunted your sister so much during the interrogation.
It's so funny that everyone that's jilted ends up dating Makoto, because it's like it's the obvious option otherwise.
Also, like, I tend to gravitate towards the unarmed characters. They're usually
nice.
If they don't become my favorite character in an RPG, that's theirs to lose.
Well, my biggest turn off is pretty simple. As long as the game has a sword in it that's bigger than you are, and I see 4+ digit damage numbers when I hit things with it. You know, you got a poster back there of one of the hottest women in gaming, 2B, but I'm more attracted to the giant sword that's floating in the air behind her. And
it's like the Stonebreaker sword or whatever. Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, turn off wise, if there's not a giant sword bigger than you in the game, then I'm kind of out. You know what I mean? So.
I need those phallic representations in my games.
Yeah, when I played a multiplayer Monster Hunter World with my brothers, they got subjected to whenever I'd get a true charge slash on a sleeping monster and get 10,000 plus damage. I'd be like, like, yes. All right. Well, enough of that. Thanks, Brad, for the question. Great icebreaker. And we'll put you on the spot a little bit here, Geoff, to get to know you a little bit better with a little interview.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Yeah, we know you as co-host of Fun and Games podcast with Matt Storm. If you kind of wanted to give us a little bit of a crash course on, how you fell in love with games and got into the podcast game, and if there's any other major projects you're involved with besides Fun and Game podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Both podcasting and video games have been one of those you look back and you go, well, that was obvious in hindsight kind of things. I grew up with just video games in the house. I'm a younger brother. My older brother had the NES in his room, and so I don't have a first memory of playing video games. I just know that there's always been video games. And so and having that sort of like, well, I have to get his permission to go and to be the second player and get my butt kicked in Bases Loaded 3, you there's a desire for it. And then I got a Game Gear, and a few years after that, a PlayStation 1, and I never looked back.
Sick.
Although there was a brief dark period where I thought I needed to put away childish things and sold 95% of my video game collection.
Oof.
And I was also in college broke and really needed the money, but I miss that Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
And because I was even collecting then, there was just I absolutely, I don't know, love the history of games and love the weird and off kilter. And, PS1 being one of my favorite systems, there really was like such a wild frontier of what was being made at that
100%.
point.
That was the Wild West back then.
Oh, yeah. I'm not going to say it was the greatest generation or anything like that, but I'm just going to say you want weird stuff.
Yep.
Just play Irritating Stick. I don't know.
If I remember Intelligent Cube, what a weird game.
I love Intelligent Cube. It is, but it's a weird game. And it's one that I'm sure we all have those games that are like, I love this game. I don't recommend it to everybody.
Right.
Because, them's my weirds. And as far as podcasting and everything else, I'm a musician. I'm a singer. I'm an actor. I fell into voice acting through like college courses and things like that. And so, which is why I'm recording in this booth.
Right.
This closet. This is my office. Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, I had no idea that you did voice acting. I just thought you were really serious about podcasting with this booth. That makes a lot more sense.
Yes. And nothing fancy. I have some project things on the back burner that I probably don't need to be talked about right now, whatever else, those sorts of things. For the most part, I'm the kind of thing where, you call a business, we're very sorry. All of our operators are currently helping other callers. That's called telephony, IVR, those sorts of things. They're just the weird stuff.
Sure.
But, it's everywhere. Would love to do more video games. Give that time. And Matt and I actually knew each other through burlesque and nightlife.
Very cool.
Where both did some backstage, and I did some on stage, rather. And just there was a time where like this is sort of the seed story of Fun and Games, where we were just talking about video games and just going back and forth and like comparing notes and what we loved and this and that. And both of our spouses, who are both named Sarah, just kind of went, oh, why don't you just make a podcast about it? Because Matt already had so many.
Yep.
And so we did, and are very much about celebrating the medium, the history, the trends, what we love about games. We actually just this morning recorded our first like proper review of a game.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Be tomorrow.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it'll already be out by the time this is out.
Yeah.
What game did you review? Can you share that?
Shovel Knight Dig.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
We've
been out and about long enough. We're getting some review codes. We've been, happily interviewing some people, and it felt like even if we can't get someone from the studio on to talk about their personal history with games, their connection to what they make and who they are and everything else, we can still talk about the games and still celebrate those. And that's very much what Side Quest is about. Getting, everybody to, because you can't play every single game. And you can't recommend every single game, but sometimes it's just great to hear why someone loves this game or what it is about it. I think that's so valuable, so wonderful, because to put in that sort of effort for a positive thing, and not just toxic positivity, not just the thing of like everything's great. It's like, we all love stuff, and to hear people talk about the things they love is so just wonderful when you can have it. And so that's what's kind of kept me going with it, and has sort of fueled me in making fun and games. And it's not like some grand mission. I just really like video games and talking nonstop. So this just works. And I'm loving meeting fellow gaming podcasts and fellow just wild weirdos and hearing the games they love, sharing the games I love. It's just this is the community. And that's what I'm here for, you know?
Yeah,
Can I
that's
just
sick.
Heck
Can I just circle back super quickly back to Burlesque?
Yes.
I was just interested. Does the Burlesque community and the nerd community cross paths very often, or was finding Matt a needle in a haystack?
Oh, good question.
What an excellent question. There is a large community of nerdy burlesque performers, nerdleskers.
Nerdleskers.
I'm in fact one of them.
Hashtag nerdleskers.
Nerdlesque. There was a Nerdlesque festival that was in Coney Island. I was supposed to perform in the 2021, the one that was supposed to be in spring of 2020,
Right.
and then things happened.
Of course.
And no, most of my acts, and just for fun, and because I'm okay with my identity being open like this, I perform under the name Dick Move.
That is so good.
I'd feel worse about it if I came up with it myself. It was gifted to me, and I love it.
Oh, whoever
But
that was a saint. Oh man.
I have thank you, Mary Sin. And I have acts as Waluigi to The Sporting Life by the Decemberists, and it's just lots of failure and sparkly tennis clubs. I have a Venom Spider-Man breakup act set to Taylor Swift's We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together.
Wow.
I have an Andy Dwyer act. I have one non-nerdy act, and it's still just a overlong dick joke with juggling.
Yep.
And that's just to get me into the nicer places.
There you go.
For the most part, I just like making weird things. I'm very proud of my Peter from What We Do in the Shadows. Which, if you know the character, you think about that for a second. I'm not going to elaborate.
All right, then.
There is a rubber chicken involved. I actually very recently got to perform at a friend's bachelorette party. In their hotel room, I did my actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf act.
Wow. That sounds incredible.
So, to answer your question, Stephen,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
There is a big crossover. I got
Love
into
it.
burlesque going to D20 Burlesque shows, which is a company that's been around for a while. They do incredible stuff, and I have made so many amazing friends there. And those are all sorts of people that are like, they know who I am. They say hi to me, and I feel such a really hi. Thank you.
Sweet.
I've seen your butt so
That's
many
awesome.
times. It's incredible.
Are there
That's fantastic.
for people interested, are there publicly available videos, or just the kind of thing you gotta cough up a little bit of dough for?
Depends on the performer. For me, it's I'm no Matt Storm when it comes to self-promotion, and I know that. And I feel like there's videos of stuff I've done up and out there. It's just, heck, I have enough trouble keeping it on my phone.
Sure. So there's no Geoff Moonen
Like-
burlesque YouTube channel.
Dick Move Burlesque.
Dick Move burlesque.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to know. Well, cool. Yeah, and I think also you mentioned to us before the show that you also are in an a cappella group. Do you want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. I'm part of a group called Choirfly. It's been around for about 11 years. I've been a member of the group for about 5, I want to say.
Wow.
We do, yeah. It's been a lot of fun, and we figured out how to rehearse over Zoom. It took a little while, but we did it. It's sort of a one at a time thing, but
Gotcha.
we got a lot of work done there.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
and a lot of the songs that we do, because I'm very aware that a cappella is nerdy on its own. That is already a thing. We have to be like, no. Even for a cappella, we're nerds.
Yeah.
It's, again, a lot of either covering more obscure or nerdy artists, like, not a Weird Al isn't obscure, but most a cappella groups don't cover hardware store.
Sure.
Or doing nerdy parodies of other popular songs. At conventions, we like performing our version of Billy Joel, The Longest Line. And as well as like other strange mashups, wild things, trying to put our own spin on whatever the songs are. We're working on a more kind of bossa nova flavor of Still Alive thrown in with a little bit of Want You Gone to make it kind of a that jilted lover song that it really was always meant to be.
Sure.
And
Okay.
again, enjoying the music from all the nerdy things that we love and just being nerds about music. We used to be a much bigger group, but now we're a 6-member group, which is great for getting to conventions and getting places. We were able to go on the road at the end of 2021 up to AnchorCon. That was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
And we are currently, like I said, the group's been around for 11 years. That's only important because we're just now finally starting to record our music.
Oh wow,
so
that's great.
I'm handling the production side of that. I do a lot of audio editing and everything else otherwise to pay the bills. So here we are.
Sweet.
And
so do you want to share the name of the group, and is there any content like online for people to check out of the group?
I think there's some old video. We performed at FlameCon last month. The group, once again, the name is Choirfly.
Choirfly.
Yes. And in the sort of font you would expect of that.
Just like I just got it. Okay.
Let's just do the meme.
Much of a thing.
Yeah. Now you got to put the gif of the meme of
where he's like, yeah.
Well, for those, our usual opening song, our opening thing that we do when we do sets is a 14th century madrigal called Fine Knack for Ladies, but with the lyrics to The Hero of Canton from Firefly.
Nice.
Wow.
That's great.
It works way better than you would expect. It's weird. and it really lets audiences know what we're here for.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The group is named Choirfly. We are currently getting some of our FlameCon footage and everything together because
Awesome.
again, there was a couple of years there where the group is revitalized and we're putting it together, but you can find us on YouTube, you can find us on Twitter and Instagram. It's going to be Choirfly NYC for those. And we're out there and check it out.
Awesome. Well, certainly a man of many talents if there ever was one, but to our listeners, check out Fun and Games, check out Side Quests, check out Firefly, all great stuff. And
I have one question before we transition.
Sure. Shoot.
So Geoff also mentioned to me that he found like a previously undocumented video game cheat in a video game, and but he didn't specify what the game was or what the cheat was, and I was really curious just to know what that was, if you don't mind sharing.
I forgot I put that on the list, but yes, this is all true, because the game is MiG-29 for the NES.
Never heard of it.
It is not an official NES cartridge. It's a gold cartridge that has like a weird like Channel 3, Channel 4 switch on the back. I think Codemasters or something like Codemasters was the company that came out with it. This was one of those games in my childhood NES collection, so naturally I played it to death. And it is what you would expect of like a jet fighter kind of game, like you are like behind view kind of maneuvering in the 2D, 3D space to shoot things down. And you can get power-ups to get better guns, straight fire shot, triple shot, cork shot, everything. And the only documented way to get all of those is to enter a certain name into the high score. Except me being just a weird kid, as soon as I get control, I'm like, I have a few seconds before the planes show up. I'm just going to fly around in a circle. The screen flashed and I had every weapon.
Whoa.
Whoa.
And I've replicated this on whatever other cartridges I can find on emulation. It is part of the code. If you just, for everyone who's really trying to get their speed run times down on MiG-29 for the NES, just fly up to the upper left corner and fly across the top of the screen. It'll flash red. You have every weapon. You're welcome.
Incredible.
Finally.
Incredible.
That's
I've been waiting. I could never beat it before.
You've been waiting. I know. And this is one of those things like that is such a molehill to like try to put on game facts. But I love having that in my back pocket where I just find this. Like it's eventually going to get back to me. This is the test. I'm waiting for it to somehow come back.
There you go. Yeah. That's fascinating. I don't think many gamers can say that. They've discovered cheat codes. Incredible. All right.
This is the best I got.
Yeah. Well, now that we all know each other a little bit better, it's time for the debate.
All All right, welcome back. This week, we've got a Final Fantasy jobs debate with Wes Bates representing the monk job versus Geoff Moonen rocking the blue mage. Each one of our contestants will have a 2-minute opening, 2-minute rebuttal, and a 2-minute close. And we have Caden as the assist trophy. Geoff, as our guest, would you like to start or close the debate?
I think I will start.
Oh, changing it up. Our last two guests have closed. All right, Geoff, you got 2 minutes on the clock. Are you ready?
I am ready.
3, 2, 1, debate.
Fantasy has a lot of different schools of magic. They heal, they hurt, they support, they disable, they do all kinds of things. And Final Fantasy has given us a great variety of different magics to do. But blue magic is truly the wild frontier no matter where it shows up, because the nature of how it's learned. And it's even a little different no matter which game you're playing in. Sometimes it's you need to see the spell happen. Sometimes you need to survive the spell. Sometimes you need to eat the thing that is casting the spell. And it's important that it's the enemy's spell because blue magic provides an excellent satisfaction. When you have been rocked by an enemy's attack over and over again, and you just wish you could take it from them and show them what it feels like. This is 1,000 needles, you little green monster! Can't avoid that, can you? They can't, because now I know how to do it. And whether you call it blowfish or 1,000 needles, it's incredible. And this gives you a singular school of magic that can heal and hurt and support and disable. And so if you have a limited number of job slots on a character, you can do a lot with just blue magic. And it also links back into the mechanics of the game because you need other job classes and your other party members to help you out with blue magic. Because if you need to survive an instant death spell, you can't be the last one standing. If you need to manipulate the monster or confuse them so they cast healing magic on you, you're going to need someone else doing that. And any job that goes right back into the central ideas of the game, I think is a win. It is a little complicated, but it allows you to get into the game. And it allows you to handle a lot of strange ideas and calculations that you normally wouldn't want to do outside of the game. And even though it allows for you to have certain spells that are, it's not just Fire 1, Fire 2, Fire 3. It's Flamethrower, it's Aqua Lung, it's all these wild ideas, and they can't be silenced or reflected half the time. It's incredible.
Time.
Wow, what a strong opener.
Yeah, no kidding.
I want to play some blue mage characters now.
Yeah.
All right, Wes, how you feeling after that opening?
Geoff gave an incredible delivery on that opening statement. I can't say that mine will be nearly as nearly as nice as a job as he did, but I'll do my best here.
All right, it's okay. It's just the beginning. You got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
All right, when I'm forming characters for my party in Final Fantasy, I'm looking for characters that are reliable, versatile, easy to use, can take a hit and dish it back, but still interesting and different than your standard, knights or whatever. Monks, also known as pugilists and black belts in some games, is a class that has been around since Final Fantasy I. They were one of the starting classes in the original game, and they offer that versatility that I was just talking about. They sport high HP and physical attack. They use light armor, and they generally don't utilize much magic. They're equipped with knuckles, claws, the occasional pole, sometimes nunchucks, but more often than not, they fight the best barehanded. And often they get a stat buff for using no weapons and fighting barehanded. That puts them in the same attack class or attack power as other characters that need specialty weapons or high-powered weapons to get the same damage. Because they don't use heavy armor and they don't need to rely on weapons, they're typically very easy to maintain. You don't need to spend a lot of gil to keep them up where they need to be in your party, and they'll still deal massive amounts of damage. The most classic Final Fantasy monk ability is Focus, which doubles the attack power of the user on their next move. If you use it once, if you use it again, it'll triple their attack power.
30 seconds.
Oh crap! They can also counterattack very frequently. They have a higher HP growth rate than other characters when they level up, meaning they build up their health faster. They can tank more damage, and they have a lot of special abilities that they can use over the course of the series and have evolved a lot. And I didn't even get to go into that in my time, which really is upsetting. And I'll hopefully try to catch that on my closing statement. That's it.
Oh crap! That's comical.
I don't know what you were talking about, Wes. That was pretty good.
That was
very strong.
It made me think of Bravely Default 2 and how good the monk is in that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's where my mind went, was Bravely Default 1, just because that class in Bravely Default 1 was one of my go-tos.
I have all this going. Like, I love monks. Like, monks are a favorite for me. I was streaming Final Fantasy. I'm gonna get back to it. It's a meme for people watching me that I always use monks. It's the fistic arts. But
the fistic
arts. I played through FF1 with a party of all monks that I named variations on Charles, and decided that potions, they just misread protein. And that was the only way to kill them, so they would take protein breaks.
Don't want to take too much time, but Geoff, just yes or no, do you know about the buff bodybuilding wizard from Voice of Cards, the Isle Dragon Roars?
I haven't played Voice of Cards.
I'll give you a link later. It's incredible.
Thank you. That sounds amazing. We're back to turn-ons and turn-offs in games.
Yes.
All right. Let's get this round of rebuttals going. Geoff, you've got 2 minutes on the clock. 3, 2, 1, debate.
Monks are a wonderful, all-in-one kind of affordable class, but also that means that they're not exactly as iconic as they should be. If you take weapons from anybody, they're fighting barehanded, and you could argue, oh, it's like a monk build. Blue magic is blue magic, and even other classes might borrow a little bit of learning by surviving the spell, and you wouldn't say, oh, that's their class. You'd say that's blue magic. Final Fantasy Tactics does not have a dedicated blue mage, but I would argue that Ultima is a blue magic spell because the only way you can cast it is if you survive it. And you can change up various aspects of how it goes about. Like I said in my opening statement, not every blue mage learns the same way, and they come from a lot of different ideas, and yet still it is unequivocally blue magic, because Final Fantasy is built on a lot of reference and echoes, I would say. You know, I reference the Cactuars in the opening because they show up, and you recognize that, and you love that. Blue magic has its own weird stasis, weird space of iconic spells and things. Monks can hit really hard. They can maybe hit really hard everybody at once, and maybe they can wait to hit really harder in a turn. And there have been some monks that have some stylish things to them and some distinct things, but those are to them. Only Tifa has slots. No one else does. And that isn't a thing of the class, that's the character.
30 seconds.
So I think there is a great deal more of an iconic idea to what the blue mages are and what blue magic is and how it applies to a lot of different characters. And it really speaks to the versatility and just wild feral nature of monster magic, that it can just show up anywhere like that. And you know what? That's blue magic, baby. And that's my time.
Ooh,
that's blue magic, baby.
8 seconds on the table.
Love the
and ending it with that's blue magic, baby. I love that. I love that.
And that was
I need a shirt that says that.
Mm-hmm.
That's blue magic, baby. All right, Wes. I think so. It needs to say blue magic, baby, and then each time it's just like a different character because it's blue magic.
Mm-hmm.
Every time,
like a different monster.
All right. Different monster. All right, Wes. You got 2 minutes on the clock for your rebuttal. 3, 2, 1. Debate.
Okay, so blue magic can be incredibly powerful, but it's also not very convenient and it's very circumstantial. It's very RNG dependent. You have to learn these spells and attacks from monsters or using an item on your character, and it's not always apparent which monsters give you what spells, and the monsters don't always use that spell. So you have to wander around the wilderness, waiting to get into random encounters, hoping that the monster that you're fighting will use the ability on you that you need to learn. In some cases, like with Quistis from Final Fantasy VIII, you have to use an item and for her to learn her blue magic. Where do you get that item? You don't know. It's often very experimental, and you have to spend a lot of time. It's often a class probably be best off min-maxing utilizing a wiki or a guide. Otherwise, you may miss out on a lot of their best skills. A lot of their skills are also incredibly situational. So there's a lot of skills like level 5 Doom, or level 4 Flare, or level 3 Holy, or level Question Holy, that will only work on an enemy that's a level of a multiple of that number. So you could learn it and cast it, and if the enemy is not that level, it won't have any effect. White Wind, which is often cited as one of the best Blue Mage skills, it heals your party by the amount of the caster's current HP minus their max HP minus their current HP. So if they're at max health, it's not going to heal you because there's no difference there. It does have some powerful moves like Bad Breath and Mighty Guard. But again, there's a lot of these things that are super situational. Quina, who's a blue mage in Final Fantasy IX, her Frog Stomp move, the damage it does is dependent on how much time you spend playing a minigame catching frogs. So if you spend and invest in that a lot, it could be good. But if you don't have any interest in wandering around swamps catching frogs for hours, then it's not that great. Also, a lot of the blue mages can only use their attacks in overdrives and limit breaks in games.
Dang, right. Tearing the blue mages down.
Nice. I love
Tearing the blue mage down. All right, just a reminder to both of you guys, you still have Caden, your assist trophy. He is on the table. You do not have to use him if you don't want to, but that is a wasted 30 seconds. Geoff, you have 2 minutes on the clock for your final thoughts. Are you ready?
Yeah, and can I use Caden just right at the start of the time?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
Let me get that time adjusted. Caden, you've got 30 seconds on the clock. Geoff, you will go as soon as I end his time.
You got it.
3, 2, 1, debate.
Okay, so thinking about blue mages, I had to really think outside the box of characters that are iconic blue mages, but then when I broadened my mind, I was like, holy crap, there's so many unconventional characters that are actually blue mages. And it's like monks are like a dime a dozen. It's like every fighting game roster is like every character's a monk. But you know who also is a blue mage? Kirby's a blue mage. Mega Man's a blue mage. Metroid Fusion Samus Aran is a blue mage. Soma Cruz from Castlevania is a blue mage. So many cool characters.
That's blue magic, baby. Because also the original blue mage sprites in Final Fantasy V, dapper as hell. They didn't start you with a red mage in that first 6 jobs when you got the first crystal. They replaced it with blue mage, and they took red mage and gave it a mask. And it looks incredible. And that kind of style carries through. That's not what I'm going to close on. I'm going to tell you a story. I fell in love with blue magic through the enemy skill materia of Final Fantasy VII, and I will always try as hard as I can, as soon as I can, to get the Midgar Zolem's spell beta. Midgar Zolem is a enemy that shows up far stronger than you're supposed to be, and you need to avoid them. And I have failed in so many different ways to get that spell as quickly as possible. Blue magic is erratic. It is wild. You can start and get the strongest spell first at the end of the game and then work your way back and learn everything. They're not on a curve. They give you as much as you put into it. They are high risk. They are high reward. When you, yes, have level multiple spells and you realize that a boss doesn't have death immunity and they're a multiple of 5, the power you feel, the euphoria that comes cannot be bottled, cannot be duplicated. And those are the moments that I live for in an RPG. I love slow, steady growth, but if I'm going to be outpaced, I want to at least do wild and weird things while I do it. I want to be able to wear different armor and different swords, or not. And I think that the fact that I need to spend more time playing Final Fantasy X too and be a gun mage. It's a gun mage. It's a blue mage with guns that does fiend damage that learns spells that it casts through its gun. I am going with rule of cool here, and I am standing by it.
Incredible.
All right. Geoff leaving 5 seconds on the table. Wes, how are you feeling so far? You're about to close out the debate. How are you feeling?
Geoff's bringing it a lot harder than I was expecting. Supporting the I have a lot of respect for that. So,
all right,
I have a lot of love, and I'm very intense.
You got 2 minutes on the clock, and you still have Caden if you want to use him. Are you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, debate.
Okay, so I talked about the evolution of monks. So as going through the series, Yang from Final Fantasy IV had the kick ability, which was one of the first abilities in the game that let you strike multiple enemies in a single move. It was really awesome getting him at that time in the game, and it made a huge difference. In Final Fantasy V, the monk can strike twice for every attack command selected. Sabin in Final Fantasy VI had the Blitz ability, which let you input fighting game style moves to pull off awesome heavy damage moves for 0 magic points. He can shoot a Kamehameha, for crying out loud, as one of the moves. He can heal all of your characters using his chakra ability. He's got Phantom Rush, which is high damage to one target. 0 MP. You just have to input these button inputs. Tifa. Everybody loves Tifa. Tifa's one of the most iconic characters in the series. In Final Fantasy Remake, she has the unbridled strength ability that increases all of her attack, her crit rate, her ki boost, and really opens up her moveset. She can move faster and is more fun to play than any other character in the game. Zeldinkt from Final Fantasy VIII has a limit break called Duel, which lets you kind of input button inputs kind of like Blitz on a timer, and the more that you input, the more moves he does. Maybe you didn't know this, but if you do this correctly, you can unlock what's called the Armageddon Fist, which is the highest single attack of any third highest single attack of any Final Fantasy game. You can do 1.8 million damage using that move. Last thing I want to say, in Final Fantasy XI, it was noted that blue mages acquire their skills by absorbing the soul or part of the soul of their enemy monster that they're targeting. And it's been noted that in some cases, blue magic actually endangers the souls of the caster and causes them to lose their humanity and transform into monster themselves. Is that the kind of character you want?
Yes.
All right, Wes, you still have Caden if you want to use Caden to close it out.
I'm not going to use Caden.
Or
Caden can take a break. Caden can take a break in this round.
He accidentally threw the assist trophy off the stage, and it didn't pop.
The first debate where the assist trophy has not been used. Wes takes that trophy.
All right.
I may not win the debate, but I felt that the points that I was trying to make were good enough that I did not need.
Oh yeah,
they
were very good.
Assist trophy. So
absolutely no
offense,
debate.
Caden.
Not take it.
All right, Steven, I know the saucy Aussie itching to chat.
I'm itching for multiple
Let's get
things.
your take. I want to get your vote, and I want to hear your thoughts on this debate, man.
I've got one question for after we finish all this, but yeah, definitely the first 2 rounds were almost even. I think because even like everyone's reposts in the rebuttal were just spot on, like sort of tearing apart those characters. The biggest thing that came to mind, and it reminded me of Bravely Default, because I maxed out every single job class for every character, and I could have min-maxed and had everyone do the most amount of damage by having multi-hit, by having unarmed bonus and stuff on. But it made me sad because I'm like, well, then no one's got any weapons, and weapons are just pointless. So even though I could have done the most amount of damage by having everyone be an unarmed monk on the journeyman class or whatever it's called, which gets all of the boosts from max job levels, I just couldn't do it. So I had my main character do that unarmed, and then everyone else had their weapons because it just didn't feel right to me. It like they had to be a different class, like even if it was a min-max possibility to just do the most DPS. So that just came to mind, and at the end of the day, there's probably a lot of points go to Geoff's acting training, but the melodrama in his voice came through, and so that's where he gets the point from me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Caden, as the assist trophy, let's get your take, man.
Well, I hate this because we're on this string of just like I feel like the guests crushing the host. I don't remember the last time.
I only have to prepare one debate. You guys got to defend.
I just came off of this debate like I want to like boot up Final Fantasy X2 Remaster right now and go play Blue Mage as the YRP girls. You know, like I was like excited about being a Blue Mage at yeah, that's what it comes down to for me. So I give my point to Jim.
I gotta say though, Sabin gets like 5 points easily.
Yeah,
It's like,
almost.
Individual monks, top tier, absolutely unequivocal.
Yeah.
I didn't.
I will
I
say
didn't.
that,
I didn't get to finish my last point. I ran out of time. I was hoping to drop the train suplex in at the end.
Yeah.
I was
my
waiting
final
for
point, and I ran out of time. So
I will say, yeah, like all the top 10 lists I looked at, Saban was like number one for monks, and I do think there's way more iconic monks in like JRPGs, but like when you like think about what's technically a blue mage in like the entirety of video games, it's like, whoa, there's some really interesting stuff there. But
All right. So while I love the presentation and everything that Geoff brought to the table, the different points about how blue magic really stands out and how it can be extremely versatile, it's also very inconsistent in what Wes had said, and it is very like time and place for a lot of the magic spells that you can use in situational. And when you're talking about monks, they're tried and true. There's a reason why they're in every single like
easy mode
JRPG. Exactly. And you know me, I'm a filthy casual. I love easy mode. And Wes, I feel like you brought it a little bit stronger, and you were dodging, dipping, weaving, and boxing your way back. You got my point, baby.
oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I just have to say, like, I really, really like. I don't know. You just absolutely killed it, Geoff. I was.
No,
You brought them facts. You brought the facts.
Yeah, it was such a strong debate, and we'll take it to the community to vote. But if I lose, I totally accept that. What a debate.
I mean, that's kind of you, and likewise. I mean, I feel very good about this debate. Like, I'd shake your hand, but obviously I can't.
So before you close this out, Jonah, I just want to ask: monks, by definition, incels in JRPG, like monks are chaste, right? They've still got their chastity. Monks, well, every character in a JRPG has main character syndrome, and monks are out fighting everybody. So, are they, by definition, incels?
you had to take it there. Courier first. Keep it
all right. Well, with that, we'll move on to our last debate, our 3v3 Pokemon debate with Steven versus John Carson, each bringing their top 3 Pokemon and just barely beating him out by a hair. Steven, you got the win, 8-7.
Hey!
Congratulations.
Hey, bring a spoon to the party, boys. Let's get a monster.
And with that, we will move on to the pitch.
All right, gentlemen, now it's time for the pitch, wherein a few of our panelists will have 2 minutes to give an elevator pitch on a game they've been playing, and the rest of us will have to decide if we're buying or playing the mysterious game without knowing what it is, just based off the pitch. So this week, we'll have Jonah and Geoff pitching. Jonah, I'll let you go first so you can kind of show Geoff how it's done. So when you're ready, please step up to the pitcher's mound.
All right, let's play some ball.
All right, so you have 2 minutes. I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. I want to open this game up with letting you know that it's got 2-player co-op. I wish it had at least 3, but it's got 2, which is fun. And it's got an extensive character creator, and you can make your character look as cool or as goofy as you want. My buddy Jared and I started playing this game last weekend, and oh boy, was it a blast. I'll just start out by talking about the characters we created. I created a 7.5-foot tall, black hair, blue skin lady who, is just a badass with assault weapons. And he decided to make a 3'3" king with a gas mask and crazy anime hair that was a sniper. And the best part about his character being that small is the voice options that you can pick. There's one called Ice, and he says, "Let's get it done." So like the game is just like super fun. It's turn-based strategy RPG. It's Western dev. It's awesome. It's apocalyptic,
30 seconds.
And it ticks off a lot of these fun things that I like. The voice acting is like just absolutely terrible, but in the best way. And some of the NPCs that we ran into were just really fun. You get later on you can recruit more people to join your party, and it gives you the option to create more characters. And so we just had a blast doing that.
That's the pitch. Wow. Okay, so you're telling me insane level of character creator where you can be extremely goofy, and it's a turn-based strategy RPG with guns.
Yes.
I mean, I'm in.
Yes.
With co-op, I'm in. Like,
yes.
What do you think, Geoff?
You had me
Oh,
gas
one
mask
last point.
and anime hair.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
All right. I couldn't be more in.
I was on call for like 30 seconds while Jonah was playing this. So I have to ask, I just realized one of my other turnoffs is this isometric.
Oh, come on.
Or is it more?
It is, but it doesn't. But it doesn't really affect gameplay that much.
Does it have a free camera at all, or
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah, you can move your camera wherever you want. Yeah.
So it's not stuck on a 45-degree angle.
But you can move it, but it's top down.
Not 45. It's more like it's more like over the top.
Okay.
But I can look all the way around a building. It won't like just cut to 45-degree angles around it.
No, yeah, you can move the camera wherever you want.
Okay.
And you can like move the camera off your character, but obviously if your character can't see into said room, then you can't see what's in said room.
I actually want to give this a try because I thought it was just like rigid, like isometric. So that's always a big turn off for me. So yeah, I'm on Game Pass. Yeah, I'll download this.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Wes?
I don't think this is for me. Just based on on what was said. It sounds like it was probably really fun, but and you did a good pitch. It doesn't sound like a game I'm interested in. So I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I'm interested to hear what this is, Jonah, because I actually don't think I have any idea what this is. So
Geoff, do you have an idea what this is?
I don't think I do, or I might, but I can't think of the name. So either way, I'm no good.
It is from the original creators of the Fallout series, Wasteland 3.
That's what I thought it was.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I gotta check that out. I mean, Obsidian doesn't really miss. So
No.
Well, is this developed by Obsidian or like ex-devs from?
It's not Obsidian.
Gotcha.
It's not
Gotcha.
Obsidian.
It's like ex-Fallout devs.
But yes,
Cool.
I can't remember.
A lot of good
what
people
the
came out
original
of
Fallout
team.
devs were.
Yeah, the
Give
first
me
two
one
Fallout.
second, I'll answer.
But
Yeah,
it
but,
plays out like
They
it plays out like Divinity, doesn't it? This game, is it turn-based or?
very similar. Yeah.
Ooh, very nice.
I'm like even more in. Divinity
Yeah,
2
that.
is
Yeah,
so
exactly.
good.
Oh, you invoked Divinity. I'm in.
Yeah, I saw on your list
Yeah.
of favorite games you played recently that you said was Divinity 2. It's like, let's go.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
like, sometimes it's hard to coordinate D&D night, but I have a regular group with some like college friends, musician buddies, like, just some good buds.
Yep.
We've been playing through a lot of RPGs together. We did Wildermyth. We're on Divinity Original Sin 2 right now, and will be for
That's
the
incredible.
next 8 months. And,
I mean,
and
it's basically a D&D campaign.
it is, and it's wonderful chaos because of it. An impartial DM that you can just make angry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that is Wasteland 3.
Nice one. Thanks for putting that on my radar, Jen. I definitely am checking that out.
Yeah, love that.
All right. So, Geoff, please step up to the pitcher's mound.
Alrighty.
And prepare your throwing arm. I'll count you down. You have 3, 2, 1, go.
Now, this game it's a bit of an oddball because it has a lot of different kinds of experiences going on. For the most part, it's a bit of an arcade experience that utilizes an unconventional form of control that can be frustrating, but also very funny. It's going to be one of those sorts of games where you're not going to do great at it. And if you've watched videos of anybody playing this game, they're not doing great at it either. And that's fine. It's part of the enjoyment is when it's not perfect. And yet, people are only going to see that arcade experience. It's not necessarily the levels that you want at the outset, but you are going to keep playing them over and over again because you're going to find new things about it as you keep going on. And there's plenty to unlock within the game. It is not a super long experience, but I've already reached the full unlock stage and had a lot of fun continuing to go back, improve my scores. And the things that you do with the scores, you can unlock little goofy collectibles within the game because the game has this utterly committed but wild sense of humor. And it has something that I love in small indie titles, because this is only developed by a handful of people. Almost what I would call an escape room style design of a PC game, where clicking around a little bit or just trying things out because you think it's silly will have an effect. And so the humor and delight of the game isn't just the main gameplay loop or what people talk about. It's exploring and enjoying the entire fabric of what's probably a 6 to 7 hour game, but in terms of unlocking everything. And the things you unlock and the things that you do, they are both cosmetic and very strange to the gameplay experience. But again, that only makes it more fun. And you will never look at certain aspects, images, and songs the same way again. And I think that is only for the better, because I've had a lot of fun with it. And it's actually some control forms that I'm close to, but just let go being good.
All right. Now, as we talked about with our turn-ons earlier with Jonah, we were talking about sub 20-hour games. So you're telling me 6 to 7 hour playtime here. That sounded good to me. And this is giving me like Surgeon Simulator vibes with these like controls you're talking about, which is just a hilarious good time. So I think I'm in. This sounds really fun, whatever it is. We think, Jonah?
I've got a quick question. Is this on Game Pass?
I don't think it is. It came out like a week or two ago.
It's cheap.
It is cheap.
And it's indie.
I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. I'll take a look.
I saw one video and I
for
bought
sure.
it, and I regret nothing.
Yeah.
Steven.
Steven?
I know exactly what. Oh, I'm guessing I know what this is. But yeah, I watched the video, the trailer, and I showed my wife and my kids, and we're all like laughing hysterically at this. Just the reveal trailer is so amazing, and then I watched more content on it. Yeah, it sounds perfecto, I would say. So yeah, I definitely want to check this out for a bit of fun.
What do you think, Wes?
I think I might know what it is also, and what the hell? Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
All right, please reveal the game, Geoff.
Well, Steven, what game do you think it is?
Is it Trombone Champ?
It is absolutely Trombone Champ.
That's what I thought it was too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I am. My major in college was jazz trumpet. I played in a lot of ska bands.
Okay.
How are your
awesome.
how are your scales on mouse?
Not as good as the average player. So bad. And I'm loving what like people are already doing with it. It's nuts.
Yeah, please, listeners, if you've not seen this game, look it up. Trombone Champ. It is just hilarious. You'll be in stitches. Like,
There's a collector card meta to it that you like.
oh.
Gameplay videos don't get you ready for.
Okay, yeah, I just
the
assumed that was
Reddit
the rhythm game.
deep dive, like IGN posted like because you could do free play, and they posted this song, and I had no idea, but I'm looking at all the comments, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you did this!" And so I had to go on the deep dive into Reddit, and it was all about some guy's like sex mixtape that he played like to his girlfriend.
No, we're not gonna bring that up. Oh, that is Steven,
not that kind of bone. Not that kind of bone.
Steven, you've been off TikTok for a while. This blew up on
really?
TikTok for like the last like month and a half. Yeah. And his family found out about it. His girlfriend's family found out about it, and it's become like a mess.
I did see that TikTok of someone doing like push-ups to that beat, and it was just hilarious.
Oh yeah, that song, that right.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about now.
It all came back to me, and it's awful.
Well, all right. On that note, that's the pitch. So thank you so much. Those are two really interesting games that I definitely want to play now that I wasn't really aware of before. So great pitch. And with that, I'll turn things over to our game master, Wes, for the game.
Okay, we're bringing back a classic. Haven't done the old video game 20 questions in a while, so this is video game 20 questions super hyper turbo edition because we're cutting the intervals for questions from 20 seconds to 10 seconds. So you guys have to be on your toes. So just a quick refresher, we're gonna go round robin style. You guys get 7 questions. I will allow you to pause for 1 minute to discuss together, and then we'll keep going for another 7 questions. You'll get another 1 minute break, then you can finish it up. And at the end, if you haven't guessed the game already, you'll have one chance to guess the game. If you get the game wrong when you guess, you lose the game. So try to make sure you think you know what it is before you start. We'll go Caden, Jonah, Geoff, Steven. Any questions? Are we ready to go? Oh, these are yes and no questions, by the way.
All good.
All right, Caden, you're first up. Ready, set, go.
Does this game feature 3-dimensional graphics?
Yes. Jonah.
Was this game developed in Japan?
No. Geoff.
Did this game come out after 2009?
After 2009. No. Steven.
Is this a console exclusive?
No. Hayden.
Does this game is it a what am I trying to say here? Is this an RPG?
No. Jonah.
Is this game open world?
Yes.
Okay.
Geoff.
I forgot if this was a Japanese developer or not.
No.
It wasn't. Okay. Does this game feature a crafting system?
Ooh.
You know what? That's a good question. No, I don't think it does.
Okay.
All right, so that's 7 questions.
1 minute.
Feel free. 1 minute, starting now.
Okay. Pre-2009, open world, 3D, non-console exclusive. So
my guess is it came out on 2009. By the way, Wes answered that question.
If it's an open world game pre-2009, I assume it's a AAA game. And if it's not Japan, maybe something like
could be a GTA,
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
like
it could be GTA
or something like
also could be still like would they have had open world racing games back then? Maybe, but probably not.
Burnout Paradise.
Okay, but that's unlikely. But just keep it in your head anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're thinking GTA-ish, ish, something in
maybe
10 seconds.
What else is open world? Is Darksiders open world?
No,
not really. No, it's
semi-open
it's
world.
map based though.
Yeah.
Okay, that's 1 minute. Steven, you're up. Are you ready? Set.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, is this an action-adventure game?
Yes. Caden.
Does this game feature modern-day firearms?
Yes. Jonah.
Oh, was this game developed by Rockstar Games?
No.
Oh,
Yep.
Does this game
okay.
feature licensed characters in any way?
No.
Oh. Good
Steven.
question.
It's not exclusive though. I don't know. Can you climb in this game? Can you climb buildings in this game?
Yes, you can.
I don't know
Caden.
what that helped.
Huh.
I don't know.
Does this game allow you to create your own character?
No. Jonah.
Oh, jeez. Can you drive in this game?
Yes, you can. That's 14.
Okay.
You have 1 minute
Okay.
on the clock. Go.
We have to be able to narrow this down
I
from
have
here.
no idea what these games
I'm
came out.
thinking it might be Saints Row.
Yeah.
Oh, I would not have thought of that.
I don't know, because I didn't ask it correctly. I was meaning like
Can you create a
scaling
character
building.
in the? Can you create a character in the Saints Row games though, the old ones?
what
Or is
about
it,
that?
bespoke?
Is
I don't remember,
Prototype an
actually.
exclusive? Was that just
I don't.
PlayStation, or was that on Xbox as well?
That was
Saints
not
Row?
exclusive.
No.
Prototype.
I don't think prototype.
Okay,
Yeah,
So Saints Row,
that's a good
Prototype.
pull.
I don't know anything else that's in that sort of vein.
Yeah.
But you
With guns
so
is the
you
thing.
can't
And it's
you
not.
can't
It
create
doesn't
a
have
character
license.
prototype.
Doesn't have licensed characters either, so it's not like.
Wait, you
Batman.
can't drive in prototype. You can't drive
Okay.
unless you could drive a tank or something.
Alright, so we'll start to lean in on
10 seconds.
Saints Row and see.
Oh, I don't know what other
else.
questions.
I have no idea. I'm
Yeah.
stumped. That's my blind spot in gaming. That area, because I was at the end
Same.
of high school.
You can
Alright,
ask if it was developed by
that's time.
THQ or published by THQ.
That's time. That's time. Sorry. Who asked the last question? I forget. Oh, Jonah asked the last question, I think,
I'm
right?
next.
Yep, Geoff.
Yes.
All right, ready, set, go.
Do you play as criminals in this game?
I would say no.
Or a criminal?
Oh,
Okay.
I would.
Huh.
It depends on the
Okay.
side you're
No.
looking at. I would say no. Steven.
oh, that doesn't help us at all.
Eliminate some choices.
I don't know. I have no idea. Can someone else help? Was it developed by THQ?
that's-
As said which?
No, it was not.
Okay,
Caden.
I have no idea.
Does this was this game developed by Sucker Punch?
No.
Damn it.
Jonah.
Dude, I don't know.
Superpowers.
That's
Superpowers. Does the
that's
game have
time.
superpowers?
Goes to. I'll allow it. No superpowers. Geoff.
Man, what is this game?
Has this game had a re-release or remaster in the last 2 console generations?
No. It is
Oh,
not.
wow,
Steven, you have
okay.
the last question.
Guns, open world. Okay. The last question. Holy crap. Okay, is it set in post? Is it set in post-apocalypse?
Nope. That's the last question. You have 1 more minute to
Oh.
confer, and then I will request your guess. Ready,
No
set, go.
Okay, let me go.
What the hell is this game?
Let me go through real quick. What we do know, it's 3D. It's not Japanese. It's pre-2009. It's non-exclusive. It's not an RPG. It is open world. Does not feature a crafting system. Is an action RPG. Does have firearms. Is not Rockstar. It's not licensed. Features climbing buildings. Does not allow you to create your own character. You can drive. You don't play criminals. It's not made by THQ or Sucker Punch. There's no superpowers. It doesn't have a re-release, and it's not post-apocalyptic.
The open world
I
thing
was
is still
thinking. I
throwing
was
me.
thinking
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed because it still could
Oh,
be
right.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Still be.
That has
But
guns.
Can you drive?
But it,
I
Assassin's
know there are
Creed
guns
2.
in Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed 2.
Oh.
It's Assassin's Creed 2. Surely with guns.
Can you drive it and have guns?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
drive. Did we ask about driving?
There's-
Yes.
Well, you can
Cars,
drive
there
it.
is
You can
driving.
drive like you can drive a tank. You can there's Da Vinci's weird tank.
Yeah,
thing that you can drive.
No, I like this. I like this a lot.
And that's time. I require your guess now, please.
I'm
Go
in
for it,
on
Caden,
Jonah.
just ask it. Caden, just ask it.
Do it.
I forgot which one it was. You say it, Jonah, because I
Two.
can't remember.
Okay,
Okay.
Wes, is this Assassin's Creed 2?
It is not Assassin's Creed 2.
Ah.
I have no idea, man. Like,
All
I'm
Released in 2009, published by EA, developed by Pandemic Games, The
yay.
Saboteur.
Wow.
Never even heard of it.
What?
Never even heard of it.
I've heard of it. I was trying to think of that title. I've never played the game, but I'm like, it had to be.
Jeff
It
was
was-
close.
Oh,
It was
It's also like
Pandemic's last game. It's an open world.
Yeah.
It's an open world action adventure game where you play as an Irish race car driver working undercover with the French
Whoa.
resistance
wow.
against the Nazis
Whoa.
in World War II in Nazi occupied
Whoa.
Paris.
I kept
Wow.
wanting
What
to
is
be
that?
a getaway
forgot,
driver, and that's not it at all.
We also forgot Mafia, like when trying to think of that sort of stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, wow. That's,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
That's why
If
I
I
asked
wasn't
licensed
being,
characters, because there was the Godfather game. There was.
Oh, wow.
If I
That one was-
wasn't being
that-
cheeky about my...
that was a deep cut.
That's
dude.
good.
It's
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was.
I wasn't trying to go that deep. I thought that it was a fairly well known game, but
I mean, when you said it, I know of that game.
Well, when
and
when
that
you
was
when you
definitely a
realize
game that I wanted to play.
when you
in
realize it hasn't
2009,
been
but I just-
re-released, you should have realized it wasn't a well-known game.
That's why I asked.
Oh,
Really?
Assassin's Creed 2
Yeah.
has been
Yeah.
released
Oh,
in
I
the
didn't
think of
Ezio
that,
collection.
We didn't even think of that.
Uh,
Damn.
all right.
Wow.
Well,
Oh man.
anyway,
You got us,
it was
Wes.
a
You
good
got us.
try. You guys were in the right ballpark.
Mhm.
So
well done.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. This is the genre of game that I just don't like and never play. So, with
I was a
that,
generation behind at that point, so I kept missing the games.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thank you so much for the game, Wes. A pleasure as always. And that brings us to the end of the show, fellas. So congratulations, we made it. We'll just go around real quick to have our final thoughts. I'll let you go first as our guest, Geoff. Feel free to plug anything you want to plug and anything that's on your mind. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts, I suppose we'll do the plugs. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, most social media as Geoff Makes Noise, Geoff Makes Noise. And you can find Fun and Games and all the things that we do there at Fun and Games Pod across all those social media as well. And I've just been absolutely delighted to revel in all kinds of wild games and trivia and
Aw.
everything tonight with y'all. This is such a joy. Thank you for
Well,
having
thank
me.
you.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right, Jonah, final thoughts plus great game debate housekeeping.
Oh man. Great game debate housekeeping. Obviously, you guys can check our Redbubble store for our GGD merch. I'm repping a shirt. Steven's repping a shirt tonight.
I'm currently making a new logo.
Okay.
That's a joke.
Inside joke.
I didn't know about this. Speaking of fun and games, I was on the latest episode of Side Quest. I was talking about The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, my all-time favorite Zelda game. So please check that out. It's only about 7 minutes long because I can't talk a lot about a game that I love by myself. So please check that out. We don't have anything planned for Game Club. We might do an impromptu one for one of these bigger releases coming out later this year. But yeah. Thanks for listening.
Sweet. Wes, final thoughts.
just want to say again, Geoff, you were a hell of a debater. Really,
Or the opponents.
really brought the heat, and it was my honor to debate against you this episode. So thank you for that.
Thank you,
I just
likewise.
finished up watching Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix, and if you want to watch a kick-ass sci-fi anime set in a bespoke futuristic sci-fi world, check out that show. It is it's not one to watch with the kids. There is a lot of nudity and a lot of graphic violence, but it is a really, really good anime. So check it out.
Sold.
Yeah.
That's your favorite animation studio, right,
Trigger.
Wes?
My
Trigger?
favorite studio is Bones, but I do love a lot of shows from Trigger as well. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Sweet. Steven, final thoughts.
I'm gonna give a shout out to Spotify's Discover Weekly, simply because a band that my wife and I used to listen to back at uni, I could not find on Spotify simply because of putting a space between two words. And the band is called Ill Scarlet, and they just had this amazing album that's just really summery pop punk with some like ska vibes and stuff in there. But they just suggested one of the songs, and I was just listening to it. I'm like, what? This is on Spotify? Oh my God. And I finally found it after so long, and it was just such a good trip down memory lane to go through. But literally, just because I would put Ill space Scarlet, it wouldn't find it. It was the most annoying thing ever.
So it's all one word?
Ill Scarlet, yeah.
I'm looking it up now. That sounds incredible.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Steven. My final thoughts are I just finally finished Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and my heart's still in pieces, and I just want those characters to be happy, and they'll never get the chance, and it's sad. So don't play the game if you don't want your heart to be broken. But yeah, I've been your host, Gator Birthday Lane. Thank you for joining us, and as always, happy gaming. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I forgot. I needed to give a shout out to Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan. Bye.
Bye, Dan.
Bye.
As always, a big thank you to our friend Misdriven for the music in our podcast. If you like what you hear and you want to check out more of what they have, you can pay them a visit on Twitter at MIST_RIVEN 719 or on Bandcamp at Misdriven. Thanks again for tuning in. Till next time.
Turn on, turn off.
It's got to be Jiggle Physics, obviously.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's good stuff.
The way
Maybe
Kirby
like
just his bulk.
That's amazing. That's phenomenal.
And when he's the mouthful mode, when he's like sucked up with the water and he's just jiggling, like, oh man, that's so good.
The best.